Hey everybody, welcome to the channel Golf with James. So if you are watching this video, you might be asking yourself, well, the Epix Generation 2 watch is a little bit more affordable now that it's about a year and a half to 2 years old. Should I go with that watch over the Epix Generation 2 Pro? Or maybe even the S70. And I previously published a video just saying why I probably was gonna wait to try out Garmin's S70 offering. And since I made that video, I have had no real desire to move to the updated offerings. Why? Because Garmin has done an amazing job at updating its watches. So here's the interface or the display showing one of the holes, and the graphics on the watch have been updated. And so the S70 used to be the only watch that would show the trees with the shadows, a little bit more of a 3D kind of view. But now the Epix Generation 2 has that feature as well. Really the only item that isn't going to be included in, let's say, the Epix Generation 2 is the wind data. So you'll see this message over here: unable to get wind data, check Garmin Golf app connection. But if you're a golfer who plays in any sort of wind, it's pretty easy to tell, hey, is the wind into me? Is the wind behind me? Is it a crosswind? And I would say that that's something that you probably want to learn how to do on your own without the help of a watch anyway. One feature I do want to talk about in terms of the Garmin Golf Watch, and let me end the round first here. All right, end round. Is going to be the tempo training. And so if you are somebody who likes to go out to the range and you're trying to improve your swing, this feature of the watch is probably my most used feature. You can use this tool to see what your tempo is like, and you'll hear that the ideal tempo is something like a 3-to-1 ratio between your backswing and your downswing. And so I want to show you really quick on the settings. You can choose which swing speed is most appropriate for you. There is amateur slow, amateur medium, amateur fast, pro slow, pro medium, pro fast. I am somewhere between amateur fast and pro slow, but that doesn't really mean anything. If you are on the pro speed, I mean, you still have to square the club face, right? You can even turn the tone on. And so if you turn the tone on, what it'll do is, I believe when you go back, there you go, boom, boom, boom. It'll help you from a noise perspective, get a good tempo down. All right, let's turn that off. Let's end it over here. And then let's go back into some of the other features which are in the watch. So you'll see these are some of the modes of the watch that I use. So I like to power lift and I like to go on runs. If I'm on a treadmill, I'll use the cardio. If I'm out with some friends on a hike, I'll use the hike option. And Garmin's done a really good job with this watch. It is something that I think is going to be lasting me a really long time. The battery life also hasn't degraded much. I still get about 4 rounds of golf in before I need to charge this watch. And if I don't play any golf, then this will easily last me, I think, about a week. But again, if you're watching this video, you're probably interested mostly in the golf. And so I'm going to give you another look at just the OLED display. I think it's OLED. Like, that is just so pretty. Obviously, I'm not here. I'm pretty far away from any sort of course right now, but the visuals are just really nice. And so from a given tee box, you can figure out, how far it is to get to the pin. You can move it around too if you have a front flag versus like a back flag, right? Do I need to hit like 165 yards versus something like 149 yards? Let's see, some other settings that I personally like. There is a view green feature here. And so if you are trying to get a sense of, well, what does the shape of the green actually look like? You can zoom in on that. Virtual Caddy, I don't really use it very often. Plays Like is just kind of telling you, hey, given everything that's going on, what is your yardage, your true yardage that you should try to hit with your golf club. Measure shot is something I don't really use either. Excuse me. Scorecard is something that I'll take a look through, and sometimes my fat fingers will put in the wrong item or the wrong score. I might put the wrong number of putts, so I'll just go back in here and revise what I have in the watch. All right, let's go back, walk you through some more of these features. Wind is something that I don't really use because you're going to need to be connected to the Garmin Golf app. I might have mentioned that already. There is pinpointer, so if you have a blind tee shot, it'll tell you what direction you need to aim in. So if you are playing on a course with a lot of hills, you're going to find that to be pretty helpful. And let's see, club stats. So it'll tell me what my typical yardages are. You should ignore that 344 yards over there because I hit a cart path and it bounced forward. My friends still make fun of me because I excitedly told them about it. And now they call me the 340-yard driver dude. And I really regret sharing that piece of information with them. I guess the sunrise and sunset is here because if you are into playing morning golf versus twilight golf, you might want to know that information. And there's some other settings in here as well, like depending on what driver distance you set in here, your watch will give you a line of, hey, these are the hazards that could come into play. And so normally I feel like when I'm swinging it pretty well and not over swinging or anything like that, I can drive it about 280 yards total. So I'm curious, if I hit it well, what do I bring into play? Let's see. There's some other items that are in here, like tournament mode. If you are playing in a tournament, then you cannot use the place-like distances. And so the watch will only give you the non-sloped distances. And I think that's the most important features of the watch. One upgrade that I will talk about is if you get a chance to upgrade your band to a titanium band. This is the official Garmin one, but there's some aftermarket ones. It just looks so good with the body of the black Epix Generation 2. It looks so good. And so once I put it on, I just have not felt the need to go back to the rubber. And it doesn't feel heavy at all because it's titanium, and titanium is pretty light. I will say that the band, sometimes the screws will come loose, but when you buy this band, you're going to be given some extra links as well as screws. But of course, you can also just use the plastic band that comes with the watch itself. All right, so I have had this for about 1.5 years at this point, and I would say that I wear it on a daily basis, and the dings are, there are a couple on the bezel, but nothing that's too crazy. And so I've been really happy with the durability of this watch as well. So Garmin, kudos for making a watch. I am really happy with the Epix Generation 2. If you see it for a good price, highly recommend that you go and purchase one. You probably can't go wrong with the S70 either, or the Epix Generation 2 Pro. But even though this is old tech, this is great tech, and Garmin does such a good job of updating things so that you don't feel like you are wearing something that is a dinosaur relic by tech standards. All right, so that is my review. I also make golf vlog videos as well as some other videos related to golf. So if you're curious about that, feel free to check out my other videos and subscribe. I will put an affiliate link as well. So if you want to check out some of my links, it would help me out. I do earn a small commission and really appreciate your support. All right, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will get to them as soon as I can.